Good afternoon and welcome. You come here today at a very uncertain time in the world, and I suppose uncertainty is kind of fitting because you're probably feeling uncertain about what you're about to experience here at iBS. And I understand that feeling. I understand that you're probably all nervous right now, you're probably scared, and you don't know what to expect. I know that because just a few years ago, when I started at iBS as a teacher, I felt the same way. I was scared I would make some huge mistake, and I thought I was in over my head and that I didn't really belong here. But iBS is a very unique school. Some of you probably know this already, which is why you've come from all over the country to attend classes here. This is not a school where the teachers are going to talk to you for hours on end, and you just have to sit there and remember as much as you can, just so you can take a test later. Instead, this is a place where everyone, not only the students, but the teachers as well, can learn from each other. Now, I teach classes here related to literature and film, basically about storytelling. And so, because of that, I'd like to open up with a quote from an author named Neil Gaiman. And he said once, "I hope that in this year to come, you make mistakes. Because if you're making mistakes, then you are making new things, trying new things, learning, living, pushing yourself, changing your world. You're doing things you've never done before, and more importantly, you're doing something." The reason I wanted to share this quote is because all too often in life, we're afraid of making mistakes. I'm sure every single one of you has had a moment where you didn't do something because you were afraid of doing it wrong. What happens when we get a wrong answer on a test? Or when we pronounce a word incorrectly? Or say the wrong word? We feel foolish, inadequate, maybe even stupid. But mistakes are actually good, because those are the greatest learning tool that we have. It took Edison many tries to invent the light bulb. And when asked about all the times he failed, he replied that "I didn't fail, I found 10,000 ways it didn't work." And that's how you should view your mistakes, not only over the next year, but for the rest of your lives. Don't view them as something to be afraid of, but as something you can learn from. Every mistake is a chance to learn what you did wrong and to do better the next time around. You didn't learn to walk by listening to a lecture and then taking a written test, right? You got up, you took a step, and you fell down, and then you got up again. And you kept on trying until finally you could walk in here today. Now, every single one of you, by walking through that door, by sitting in these chairs, you've shown more courage than most people. Learning another language is very hard work, and there's no other way to say that. Devoting yourself to an entire year of intensive language study is a huge commitment, especially because you're not only learning language, but you're learning in another language. Now in Japan, English is taught at the beginning of elementary school and all throughout junior high and university. Some places start as early as nursery school. And yet, still only 20% of Japan's population speaks English. And the number who can speak it fluently is far lower than that. Most people believe that it's simply too hard for Japanese people to learn English, but by coming here, you've proven that you're not most people. You've accepted a responsibility to improve over the next year. It's going to be hard. You're going to hit plateaus, places where you think you can't go any higher. But you will, and you'll surprise yourselves in the process. You'll come out at the end of this year having done things that right now probably seem impossible. And I know this is true because I've seen it happen every year I've been here at iBS. And you won't be alone. The teachers and the staff, we wouldn't be here if we didn't want to see you improve. We'll pick you up when you fall, we'll steady you when you stumble, and we'll help you find your way when you're lost. More importantly, you'll have each other. Right now, the people sitting to the left and the right of you are probably complete strangers. But by this time next year, they will seem like family to you. It's been my absolute pleasure to have taught at iBS for the past few years. I'm proud of every single class I've taught and all the students I've taught. And I'm looking forward to adding your names to that list as well. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to get to know each and every one of you over this next year. I hope we can learn from each other and challenge each other. Thank you, and welcome to iBS.